Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing a video on AFK Journey, just some beginner tips for you guys who have just started the game or anyone who might have come back from the beta. This is going to be very exciting. I'm actually very hyped for the release. The game is finally released as of today, so you can literally download it right now. There'll be a link in the description, but it is basically free on the iOS store, Google App Store, on PC as well, which means you don't have to use an emulator. To be honest, very good. I hate using emulators. But to very quickly mention, AFK Journey is actual successor to AFK Arena. If you've played AFK Arena before, it's made by the same people who've made this game. Honestly, very cool because I love AFK Arena. I've actually played it for a very long time here and there. Honestly, very fun. But AFK Journey is not just merely an idle game, but an ethereal fantasy RPG game with its distinct visuals, intricate gameplay mechanics, and an added dimension with its PC compatible side-scrolling elements. You can also get 40 free characters when you actually start playing the game. Of course, you have to log in for this, but I will be told about this later in the video. So now is basically the best time to really start the game if you want to start playing it, especially since it has just released. Anyway, let's get straight into some of these tips then. Bottom left, AFK progress. This is great because this gives you resources. This is, of course, what you accumulate after certain minutes / hours. It is something you see in basically every AFK game. You can claim that, very good. Now, for one thing I want to mention is if we go into battle here, we have AFK Stages. You can see which one you're at. At the top, I'm currently at AFK Stage 22. This is very worth doing, and my best tip right now is if you don't know what to do your AFK Stages. If you can't do your AFK Stages, then go for your story, but AFK Stages will basically allow you to do more content in the game because it will unlock certain things, and it will also increase the AFK loot that you get. This thing I was talking about, you can get more loot, you can get better loot, just by doing more of these. Currently I'm at 21, this is the rewards I get for this. If you scroll all the way down here, you will see we get considerably more. That is very good, and you want to make sure to do your AFK Stages. Number one piece of advice, if you are basically playing the game, at the end of the day, make sure to do your AFK Stages and claim your loot then, because that is the best thing to do. Now, next up we have the Mystical House. Top right we have Mail. Mail will give you anything related to a game, but also rewards. Start the game, keep an eye out on your mail because rewards are always very good. Let's be honest, we want pulls, we want all those crystals, it's very nice. Noble Tavern. So Noble Tavern, I don't want to talk about this for too long, but I'm going to give some tips on this. Straight away, character banners. Character banners are generally pretty good, but you want to make sure the character you're pulling for actually requires a lot of copies, in my opinion. I think you should be going for characters that are good DPS characters. Is this girl a good DPS character? I'm not the right person to ask about that. I'm sure there'll be a lot of tier lists out there. I'll try and put a tier list down below, but if you are going to pull on the banners like this, I recommend saving pulls and pulling for characters that are good DPS characters, because the more rarity you get on a character, for example, if we hop over to my character screen here, if we go over to my Valen, for example, Valen's probably not a good example because he isn't actually epic. If we go over to epic hero like Cessia, if I get more copies of her and I actually promote her even more, she will of course go up in rarity and her actual stats will go up. This is very good to do with epic heroes, but basically doing this with any DPS is going to be very good because support units in most cases don't need as much ascension and levels compared to DPS characters. DPS characters, of course, being your main damage dealers. Your main damage dealers should be your focus because they will do more damage. Being able to get rid of enemies is far more important, and you want to make sure to focus on your main DPS characters. I guess my basic gist is, please pull for DPS characters at the start of the game if you are pulling this banner. That is simply my opinion. Some people may disagree, a lot of people may disagree with that, but that's my personal opinion. Now, we also do have the regular banner. This is simply for regular banner. You have a wish list for both this one and epic recruitment. Epic recruitment is basically a better standard banner, but it's a higher chance of getting an epic hero. As you can see, 5.22% on this one. If you hop over here, we're at 2%. It's quite better, but of course it's hard to get the pulls on this. But we have a wish list, which if we hop over here, make your wish list and make sure it's correct, because if you don't make your wish list, you will be getting random units. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% confident about this, you have to fill in every single slot. You can't like take out Rowan or anything like that. Thankfully in this game, it doesn't seem like they even let you do that. but make sure to fill this wish list with characters you want because you'll be getting them on every elite pull or every epic hero pull. This is very important, especially with certain characters in the game, which is really, really good. This is my current wish list. My personal advice is to search up for a tier list or at least go for the characters you like. The reason I'm picking a lot of these characters is because, for example, I know that Rowan is pretty good. I like Rowan a lot. He's a character who's also in AFK Arena, which was pretty cool as well. I used to like him in AFK Arena. I'll be honest, I played that game way too much. Brutus, very nice tank. We also have Cecia and I believe Igor. I like them too. These other characters I have actually selected, not too sure about them. I actually think I'm going to put this guy in. I'm actually shocked I didn't put him in earlier. But this is my basic wish list. Set yours. Set yours. That's all I want to say about that. Now, there is also battle modes. Battle modes are quite interesting. First of all, Dream Realm. Dream Realm is a boss battle. You want to try and do this daily. You want to try and raise that rank at the top left. Currently I'm a common 1. The further you go, the better the rewards you get daily. With the rewards, you can basically hop into the shop here and use them on characters or I guess character duplicates. Like we've mentioned before, using this on DPS characters or characters in general is very good because it will make them stronger. Basically, that's the main reason you want to do this. This will give you elite hero copies, but it will actually give you quite a lot of them because the currency isn't that difficult to get. Of course, with elite heroes as well, they're lower rarity, so you have more copies, so you will actually upgrade them much further. Makes it debatable if you want to invest in elite heroes maybe more at the beginning, maybe get an elite hero DPS because you'll get more copies of them. That's my personal opinion. I think I might go for an actual elite hero just because they will actually just have so many more copies that it will actually be very beneficial, but we'll talk about that in a moment a little bit more. Dream Realm, boss battle. Make sure to do it. Once a day at least. Now, on a duel, I'm not going to talk about too much, mainly because it's more of like a fun mode. You'll kind of get the gist once you start playing it regardless. But basically, you don't go in with your own characters. You basically get a random set of characters, you upgrade them along the way, and you try and beat other opponents. At the end of this thing, you'll basically get rewards, or you might just lose and you have to reset. You do not get to keep the characters, but it's basically like, I don't know if it's like a roguelike, I don't really know what the right word for this would be, but it's basically like a progression system that you get play through, and then at the end of it, it ends and it's a great time. I actually enjoyed this. If you want to know what characters are good and actually like team synergies, maybe this is worth doing. Just saying. I would actually recommend doing this. It's a pretty good way of actually getting good at a game. And there is also rewards, but it's nothing too crazy. There's like crystals and a couple summons, but it's not the easiest thing, at least in my opinion. Now, Arena. This, like in most games, is very, very important. Some people probably ask, is this player versus player? Technically, yes, but it is technically player versus computer, but you basically go up against other people's defenses. You can basically set a formation. I'm not going to click it. I'm going to click it because it'll probably tell me how to do it. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay, that's awkward. But basically, you get to set your own formation, and this will be what you'll be going up against with other players as well. So, for example, if I save this formation, if I hop over to a challenge, another person might have set their own formation. Like this guy, 6,900 power. This guy has his own formation, and I can go up against it. This is not PvP specifically, but it is technically player versus player, if you want to call it that. If you want to know if you can actually beat it, in most cases, you can kind of refer to the actual combat power on the top right. This is your opponent's combat power on the top right, and then yours on the top left. I'm 3,000 above, which means that I will probably win this. I'm not going to actually play this because I don't want to talk about the combat in this game today, but very worth doing for a couple of reasons. Mainly because you get these coins. If you hop over to top left here, we get these coins daily and weekly. We have a current rank. You basically want to go further in the rank to get more of these coins. You do also get crystals on your first time reaching that rank. This is something that's one time only, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but the crystals are nice. But why are the coins important? With the coins, kind of like the Dream Realm, which was the boss battle, you can actually get characters, but instead of elite heroes like this, we get epic heroes. Epic heroes are higher rarity. This will be something that will of course be more difficult to get, but if you actually go up to those higher ranks, like if we keep going here, you'll get so many more coins that this will in the long term help you probably the most out of everything. If there's anything you really want to focus on, make sure to do arena. I believe we get like a set amount of wings. I believe it's like 5, okay, it's like 4. I believe that goes up with levels, but I could be wrong on that. But we get a set amount of wings, you do them daily, make sure you're winning and not losing. You can actually refresh, if I remember correctly, you get 5 refreshes a day. Make sure to do this, please. This is very important. I feel like I'm going on a tangent on this a little bit, but it's very good to do. There is also victory rewards for just playing. So, you play this, more coins. Epic heroes, high rarity. To basically put it simply. Now, we do also have some of the other stuff. I can't show this because I don't have this unlocked. But bottom left, you have battle drills. There is guild content in the game. I don't have guilds unlocked at the moment, but battle drills is basically doing stuff with your guild and trying to reach a boss. Very nice. It is something you do want to do as well. All this content is mandatory in most cases. Mandatory may be a big word, but honor jewels probably the one thing that doesn't really matter too much. We also have Arcane Labyrinth. To put Arcane Labyrinth in the best way possible, it's kind of like Spiral Abyss in Genshin Impact, I guess. It's the best thing I can really say. It's basically a mode where you can get rewards, I believe it's every week. It could be every 2 weeks, but you basically get crystals and more rewards for going further and doing high difficulty stages. You basically just grind it every week once, and once you do it, it's good. And then we also have Legend Trial. You get acorns there. Acorns, I'm actually not too sure what they actually do these days, but in the past they actually ascended heroes, and it seems to be that case now. If we actually hop over to characters, like I said before, if you don't know what Ascension is and maybe you didn't quite get the gist of it, Ascension is basically allowing you to actually upgrade a rarity of your character. For example, if I hop over to here, that was not the Ascension. For some reason I thought it was. Hero Ascension, upgrade the rarity of your character. So that is the basic gist of what they're for. I don't know at what point you need them. In the past, in the beta, you basically needed acorns to promote any of your characters, and you'd constantly need them. Thankfully, they actually changed that, and that's actually not the case. I wasn't a massive fan of that, but this just need dupes. Just need dupes. Acorns will be helpful, but it's a mode that it's quite difficult at the beginning, and you won't be able to just do it like that. Anyway, I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about mostly. There is also other stuff like equipment. Make sure to equip your characters with equipment. I could talk about the more in-depth stuff like upgrading your equipment, actually selling your equipment. Selling equipment, it's fine to do. It's completely fine because actually, once you get the higher level equipment, you don't need the lower level equipment. That is the basic gist. I'm going to go ahead and equip mine here. You want to try and equip it because it will actually give you extra stats. For this, it's a lot easier because you don't have to do it for specific characters. Very good. Much prefer that. Over other games where you can't even build characters because you have to put in every single character. It's awful. But there is also stuff on the right. I don't want to talk about this too much, but you can get rewards here. Some of this stuff is really good, by the way. Like, we got 3 dupes of Lucius. Make sure to do this, by the way. Like, the pulls, very nice. Lucius copies, very nice. Like, this stuff will also help you progress through the game. If you're stuck and don't know what to do, this is also a pretty good way of referring to stuff. We also have the growth trials. These give you a little bit more low-key rewards, but they're still pretty good, like 400 coins there. Daily quests, there are dailies in this game. They're pretty quick to do, to be honest. Maximum 5 minutes, in my opinion. And that is the basic gist for that. There is also other stuff, like daily rewards. Make sure to get these daily rewards, by the way. Log in once a day at least, and just claim this. Like, this is really good because it gives you characters. I believe this means that it actually gives you Celestial Hypogean characters. I'm not going to explain what they actually do or what they are, but they're very nice to have, especially once you start getting more copies of them. We also have like stuff like this. Just make sure to try and do all of this, especially claiming your free stuff. Missing a day is not really a big deal because there isn't a time limit on this one, but some of this stuff will probably have a time limit, but thankfully, it does seem to be the case on this one at least. There is also one more thing, if I can just very quickly find it. We have the Battle Pass. With the Battle Pass, I'm going to say, of course, is it worth purchasing? I mean, technically you can make an argument now a lot of the stuff is worth purchasing. It is pretty good value. The reward you get compared to not having the Battle Pass is quite significant. To be fair, you do get like double the rewards, but it is expected. You can still have the free rewards on the left side here, and basically to unlock them, you do the quests. I recommend doing your weekly quests because of course these will give you the most amount of rewards. If you don't do your weekly quests, you will probably miss out on some coins. This does have a 74-day cooldown as of recording this video, and you do have a lot of time in that case, but not doing your weekly quests, it is going to slow you down a little bit on the battle pass. And of course the rewards we get, they're pretty good. Pulls, certain things like this basically lets you actually get a character. I'm not going to go over that right now though, because I'll go on a tangent. Anyway, hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, please do drop a like. I'm honestly very curious to hear what people think about this video, because I've tried to do it a little bit more chilled out. Most of the time, to be quite honest, I get in my own mind and I really stress out about making videos. That's probably why I've not really uploaded recently, but I will be making organized content soon. Anyway, hope you found it helpful. Hope you enjoy AFK Journey, and I'll see you next one. Most importantly, have a wonderful day, and adios.